And that's why I never read the comments.
I'm like, I just want to I'm not even.
You look amazing tonight. I love what you're wearing.
The Holly sandwich.
Oh my God, girl. I have an angry clown fetish.
Real life, but that's hard. Unless it's an NBA team or something.
No, that was crazy to me. I was like, whoa.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Holly Randall Unfiltered. Before we get into it, I want to talk about something that's affecting basically everyone in this industry right now, and I know that it's stressing a lot of you out. Instagrams are getting deleted. Accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers, millions even, years of work gone overnight. Social media platforms are cracking down hard, and if your marketing strategy depends on it, that is genuinely a terrifying place to be. So this is a great time to remind you about my sponsor, Strip Chat, because this actually is exactly what they solve. Strip Chat has over 500 million registered users each month. That is a built-in audience of people who are already there, ready to spend. You don't need an Instagram. You don't need a TikTok. You don't need to play by anybody else's rule or lose sleep over the algorithm update. Strip Chat brings the traffic directly to you. It's especially powerful for new creators who haven't built a following yet, and you don't need to. The fans come to the platform connects them to you. That's the model. Follow them on Instagram or on YouTube at scworld.official or on Twitter at StripChat or find them online. All right, let's get into it. My guest today grew up Mormon, got out at 19, put herself through college working at a law firm, and earned a degree in mathematics, all while graduating with high honors and building an OnlyFans career that landed her in the top 0.01% on the platform. Kit Barrus, who you may know as Kit the Beefcake, is exactly the kind of person the adult industry produces and mainstream media doesn't want to write about. She's disciplined, self-made, and completely unbothered by what anyone else thinks what she should be doing with her life. Today, we're talking about predatory agencies, the social media crackdown on OF promotion, and what it actually looks like to run your adult career like a business. Please welcome Kit Barrus to Holly Randall Unfiltered.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
You're so welcome. Yeah, like I was saying, I've been following you for a while and I love your content. And you just come across as a really intelligent person, and I like smart people.
Oh my gosh. I love your content. I've been following the podcast. I think it's amazing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We've been following each other, and now here we are.
It's meant to be.
So let's start from the beginning. So you grew up in a Mormon family. How did you end up sitting on this couch today?
Oh my God. Roller coaster. Yeah. So I grew up Mormon. My family's actually Mormon all the way back to Brigham Young, walking across into Utah.
Really?
Yeah. So my grandparents, my great-grandparents, all the way back. That was just a very hectic upbringing for me. I've always felt very free-spirited. I've always felt very exploratory, very curious about boys, all that kind of stuff. So Mormonism just kind of always felt like this encroaching sort of prison for me. But my parents forced me to go until I was 19 and I moved out of the house.
So once you were an adult, you were like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I really wanted to leave the whole time, and it was a big fight between me and my parents at all times. By the time I left their home, they were making me go to this thing called single adults ward. I used to call it marriage roulette, which my parents really didn't like. Because you go, and it's just a whole congregation of people 18 to 22 who aren't married yet. And the goal is to get you married as quickly as possible. So I'd go in, I'd sit down in a pew, and some weird Mormon dude would sit next to me and try to shoot a shot during mass. And I was like, girl, get out of here. That's the first time I buzzed my hair off, was to get them to stop talking to me.
Oh my God. How did your parents take that?
Oh my God. My dad took my car keys and he was like, you're not a boy. And it was I was like, I'm not trying to be a boy. I'm trying to get these boys to stop hitting on me. But I think he was upset because he really wanted me to marry someone in the church. He kind of thought that would fix me and get me to be a lot more on board if I found a man who was super into it.
Yeah.
So I think he was kind of more disappointed from that standpoint.
Yeah. What was it about Mormonism that really didn't align with you?
They really view a woman's role on the planet as having as many children as possible. So you're not really encouraged necessarily to get an education, to work on things in your own life. Your goal is literally to become a woman who is worthy of a husband who serves God and to have as many children as possible and then to love and nurture them.
Mm-hmm.
That's your whole job assignment for your 80, 90 years on planet Earth. It just really was unsettling to me. I always had really good grades. I was always really smart, really passionate about education, loved reading, just loved any information I could get my hands on for the most part. So it was troubling to me that I wouldn't be expected of anything else. Because from my standpoint, I was kind of like, well, if your God is real and your God gave me this brain, why would he then tell me to throw it in the dumpster and just raise kids, you know?
Yeah.
Felt demeaning.
For me, it's like the problem is twofold. Number one, that you assume that every woman's purpose on this planet is to have children, which is not true. Like, I know a lot of amazing women that are good friends of mine that don't want to have children. I fully respect that as a massive commitment. And then also the suggestion that you can't be a mom and a career woman at the same time, which is, I think, also unfair.
It's difficult for a Mormon woman to do both because, again, the expectation is as many as possible. So most Mormon women get married at 20, 21, and then they start having kids immediately. So I briefly went to high school in Idaho where there's a lot more Mormon people. It was really, really common for my friends at church to have 6 or 7 brothers and sisters. My dad is from a family of 7 kids. So I think it's hard when you have 7 or 8 kids to have both parents in the family working.
Yeah.
And so the expectation is that the woman just doesn't work. And I do think motherhood's beautiful and like such a cool path to choose, but it's sort of meaningless if you don't get the choice.
Yeah, I agree. Because there's a lot of women that just want to be, you know, mothers and housewives, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
My brother-in-law is like a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
And my sister works, you know?
Hot.
And like that works out great for them.
Yeah.
You know?
I have an uncle and an aunt who are that way. So he stays home and she goes to work and they're very happy, but she left the church. So
how many siblings do you have?
I have 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So my mom actually wanted to have way more, but with my little brother, the youngest, she got diabetes while she was pregnant. And so they told her that she actually couldn't have any more kids unless she was okay with like her and the child being diabetic for the rest of their lives.
And this is if she had a kid again.
This is if she had a kid again. She and my brother got lucky because there was some chance, I think, that they could have both been diabetic after the pregnancy.
Yeah.
But they're both fine, perfectly healthy, all good to go. But yeah, they told her it would be a pretty severe health complication for her to have more kids.
Shit, dude. I haven't had my gestational diabetes test yet.
Oh, no.
I'm like, well, and I never ever thought that would be a problem. Like with my first daughter, I didn't have it. So I was like, man.
Yeah.
But I know so many people, for some reason, I know a lot of people right now who have it or had it.
Really?
And then my doctor like yelled at me and told me I've gained too much weight already, and I'm at higher risk for gestational diabetes because I'm so fucking old.
Yeah, but that's like you're right when you're pregnant to gain some weight. You know what I mean?
I know.
Why would I be pregnant if I can't eat whatever I want while I'm pregnant?
No kidding. And I like eat well for the most part, but I also, you know, like I feel like I can have an extra plate of grapes and cheese at night.
Grapes and cheese. You can have 2. You can have...
I love grapes and cheese. It's like my favorite snack.
That's so good.
So how did you end up in the adult industry? So you went to college. So you left the church and then went to college?
Yeah. I left the church. I was going to school. I was working a 9 to 5 at a law firm, just doing like admin stuff. And then I would go to school at 7 in the morning and at like 6:30 at night. So I'd have a class before work, go work 8 hours, and then have a class after work. And I would get home around like 10 p.m. most nights. But I was paying my own rent and I had no debt at that point. Like I was managing to pay for my college. I was going to like a community college.
Did your parents not want to support you because you left the church, or they just weren't able to?
It's like a combination of those things. I think my dad was always, I'm the oldest, so He really pushed me to be very, very independent. I received very little financial assistance from them. I got my first job when I was 15. I had to like get California to sign all these work permits and stuff, and like bring them into school. And it was a whole thing. So I could go work for a little like sporting goods store that was local to me.
It's kind of interesting that he encouraged you to be independent, yet he also wanted you to get married and become dependent on a man.
My dad is a very interesting man because I owe a lot of who I am to him. Like he's made me this very independent, very financially savvy, very intelligent person. He's taught me to work on cars. I did all my car work by myself before I started making money. So he like taught me all these things, right? But then there's this weird expectation that I was supposed to like marry a guy and choose this life.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think he's very complicated. I don't know that I'll ever really completely sort that out. I don't know that he's really sorted out a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I am very grateful to my dad for everything because I wouldn't have the skills that I have. I wouldn't be the person that I am without him. It was maybe because I was the firstborn and he really wanted a boy. I don't know. But he used to like take me to Boy Scouts, which was very frowned upon when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like when I was little.
Wait, can you go to Boy Scouts as a girl?
Now you can. But when I
Oh.
was a kid, no, absolutely not.
Why do they have Girl Scouts then? I don't know. I was never allowed to join Girl Scouts because I had to ride horses. I don't know anything
That sounds
about
way
it.
better than Girl Scouts.
No, I didn't want to.
Girl
ride
Scouts
horses.
and Boy Scouts teach like different things for the most part. Like boys, it's very like outdoorsy. It's very like they'll teach you like knots and first aid and like all that stuff. I think that Girl Scouts is very entrepreneur focused from what I've heard.
Make you sell cookies.
But yeah, but like they're teaching you kind of like entrepreneurial and those kinds of skills. But Mormons are, up until Boy Scouts started allowing women, Mormons and Boy Scouts were like partnered. So 90% of the members of Boy Scouts were Mormons, and a lot of their meetings were held in Mormon churches. Once they started allowing women, they split off, and the church decided to create their own program. And they were like, we're not going to associate with you anymore. We don't want women in this program.
Interesting.
So it was very crazy that my dad was bringing me, because the Mormon church obviously doesn't condone women being involved in Boy Scouts.
Was he like a leader?
He was. He was
okay,
the
so
troop
that
leader.
makes sense that he was able to kind of
Yeah.
incorporate you.
But he would take me on the camping trips, and like just my dad and I would share a tent, and I would play 007 with the boys and like run around like crazy. He taught me how to build fires, and he'd be like, Kit, show them how to build a fire. Don't let these boys show you how to do anything. Like it was like, he was like very empowering as a father. But I think he was raised in this church, and so he doesn't know any other way to be happy.
That makes sense.
And so he just wants me to be happy, and this is what he knows is a good formula.
Right.
So it's like he's an interesting guy. I don't know. Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, so you're going to college, and what happens then?
I'm going to college. I transfer to a 4-year university from my community college. I'm working on a psychology degree. Just after COVID, I decided that I was really sick and tired of these like 12 to 14 hour days. So I saved up a whole bunch of money. I bought a really little condo, and I saved up enough that I was like, okay, I have enough money that I can kind of live off of savings and take a little bit of a student loan so that I can do 1 semester on campus and like experience what it's really like to be a university student and to kind of be a kid, since I didn't really get that. I started personal training part-time just to like help make ends meet a little bit nicer. So I'd wake up at 4 in the morning and I'd go do a couple training sessions, and then I'd go to my classes. I joined the sailing team at my college, and I made all these friends, and it was going amazing. And I was like, I really just like don't want this to end. I can't believe I only got 1 semester of this. Like it's still like one of the best things I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
And I was kind of talking to like my really small TikTok following that I was using to promote my personal training. And I was on a live, and they were like, well, you should start OnlyFans. I was like, well, I'm down. At the time I was doing psychology, and I'd written a couple papers on human sexuality. Like I was very involved in human sexuality, very interested in it. So I kind of thought to myself, well, from at least an academic standpoint, I feel like I could do this. I was like, well, but I don't want to do this and it costs me the ability to go get my PhD or whatever.
Yeah.
So if I do this, like you guys have to show up. Well, that's the deal. And so I spent maybe a month or so kind of talking to my TikTok followers and posting on Twitter and like all this stuff, just kind of hyping it up. And then when I finally opened it up, I made $10,000 my first month.
Wow.
Which was insane. I had 30,000 TikTok followers, nothing else. After COVID, like it's already saturated,
Yeah.
small following. I couldn't believe it.
So what kind of content were you doing at that stage? Did you start off like
Very
pretty
vanilla.
tame?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
okay.
really
Like just solo?
just solo,
Uh-huh.
completely solo. I was like, I'm going to post pictures every single day. So I would post little carousels of like 2 to 5 pictures every single day. And I would take them every single day. So it was just very amateur. Like, this is where I am. A lot of the times it was like on campus in the bathroom, like just very, here
Yeah.
it is, you know?
Yeah.
But they loved it. They like really believed in me. They thought this was something I would be really good at. And I guess they were right. Like, good call, guys. But I had a bunch of friends who were engineers from the sailing team, and they kept kind of making fun of me for being a psych major because it's not technically STEM; it's a humanities
Right.
degree. And they're like, "Well, you're dumb because you just do psychology." And I was like, "Well, what's the hardest major you can think of?" And they were like, "Well, maybe math." And I was like, "Okay, I'll do that then."
Wow.
So I had to like submit an application to not graduate because I'd already applied to graduate. And then I applied for the second major.
And how was that?
I got a 3.85 GPA. So I think I did pretty well.
I fucking hate math so much. I hate it.
I was pretty good at it. I really liked it, actually. Yeah.
Despise it.
think
I was
it's
an
good.
English major, so like that I
Oh,
loved.
My grandfather was an English professor at Pepperdine.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. My dad was actually an English teacher too back in
No
South Africa.
way. Okay,
So,
cool.
kind of run. Yeah, but I hated math. Loved it because usually like you're like my brother's a math person.
Yeah.
Right? Like he was
yeah.
computer science major and like all that kind of stuff.
Computer science is like a whole different
Yeah.
beast. It's, yeah.
But I was always like an English person. But it sounds to me like you were like good at both.
Yeah, probably good at, I like both. I don't know. I just like learning new things. I have really bad ADHD. So
Yeah.
I like changing lanes every once in a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so and you were doing statistics, right?
Yeah. So I graduated with a degree in mathematics with an emphasis in statistics.
Were you like, okay, so you've graduated. Were you thinking, okay, I'm going to segue into something else associated with my major? Or by then were you full-fledged OnlyFans creator?
By then I was a pretty full-fledged OnlyFans creator. When I graduated a year and a half ago, I said, okay, I'm going to give myself basically like a gap year to see what I can do with this because I've up until now I've only done it part-time. Now I guess I'm really locked in. Like I make too much money now, I guess, to do something else. But I love that this option's there where if OnlyFans gets banned for whatever reason or something happens, like I have everything I need to go get my PhD.
And do you feel like being like an OnlyFans creator would prevent you in any way from achieving those other dreams?
I actually don't think so. I think academia is like very rare because they really appreciate different perspectives.
It's interesting. I just had Stella Barry on 2 episodes ago. I don't know if you know who she is. She started Hidden.
Yeah.
And she also is like very intelligent, college educated. She said the exact same thing about academia.
Yeah, academia, it's got its issues, but they're very inclusive. Yeah. So I don't think it would be an issue.
Right. But I'm sure you thought about that.
I think that being a sex worker is a bigger issue if you're not successful.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the unfortunate truth of it.
Yeah. Because then you don't have the financial freedom to be able to.
Yeah. And
It's like
there's-
you put the stamp the scarlet letter on your forehead without like the financial rewards to make it worth it.
I agree. I also think that when you demonstrate that you're really good at something and you succeed, you get like a minus 20% stigma. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's always going to be people who are like, ugh. But you know, I see it a lot like in dating, like when girls are like newer to OnlyFans, not making as much money on OnlyFans, new to sex work, they have a really hard time dating. Like people don't want to put up with the stigma. Like it's like it's too much for most people.
Mm-hmm.
But the second you go, oh, I have an OnlyFans and I make hundreds of $1,000s a month,
Mm-hmm.
oh, now your dating pool's massive. So what's
Mhm.
that about?
Do you find dating to be hard?
Yeah.
What's the biggest like roadblock you come across?
Guys kind of like fall into a few bins with me. So there's the guys who are super excited that I have an OnlyFans, almost too excited that I have an OnlyFans. And it feels kind of like fetishy, which is a weird point to start out on with somebody that you're trying to go on like a first date with. And then there's the guys who obviously just hate your guts right out the gate. It's very hard to find men who have true ambivalence about it, which I think is what is required to like really have a relationship with somebody. Is they're not glorifying you, but they're also not hating you. They're like, oh, it's a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know my husband's like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
He like doesn't really. It's funny though, because I won't send him pictures of myself usually because I'm like embarrassed. So he has to. There was like a Holly Randall FAP subreddit, and he goes on there to find second pictures of his wife.
So good. That's so funny.
Because I feel stupid sending them to him.
I used to have a boyfriend who would go through my computer, and I knew he was doing it. Like he was very open that he was doing it, but I wouldn't send him the pictures or videos
I
either.
just feel dumb.
So he would just go through my computer when I wasn't home and find something, and I was like, "Great, I'm glad you're enjoying the content." Like,
my husband has to search for porn on me.
he has to find your leaks.
Yeah.
It's like, where are they?
Poor guy. I know, exactly. It's like I'm trying to find my wife's like OnlyFans leaks because she won't send me any fucking
You ever ask him what he
pictures.
types in? Because sometimes they like hide the leaks like in some like obscure
Dude.
descriptions so that
Oh my
you can't
God.
find them and take them down.
Dude, speaking of leaks, so I was with Cherie DeVille, and we were talking about OnlyFans leaks because I have like a DMCA service that like takes stuff down, but like there's still stuff out there. And she was telling me, she's like, oh, it's so easy to find your leaks. Like, let me show you how easy it is. And she Googles me, and there's this, and I probably shouldn't say this because now everyone's going to go look for it and fucking post it everywhere, but whatever. Maybe I'll cut this out afterwards. I don't know. I'll decide. She finds this huge, like, I don't think it was a subreddit. I think it was on a forum, huge community that has all these pictures of me with they take my face and they Photoshop it on like these a massive dick. They've given me like a huge dick.
That's kind of awesome. That's kind of sick.
Okay, so you know
kinda
what?
sick.
I'm only offended by the ones where like I have fat rolls. I don't
Oh
care about the dick. I was just like some of them because it's not my body. Most of the time they take someone else's body.
They just put your head on it.
They
and
just put my
stuff.
head on
Yeah.
it. It's pretty badly done.
That's so
And there's like
funny.
a couple, and I'm kind of like pudgy, and I've got like a pouch and like or fupa, and I'm like, hey man, if you're gonna put a dick on me, give me a good fucking body. Like,
There's
come
some
on.
crazy stuff. I once found a picture of me that someone had photoshopped to make me look like a bed, where my head is the footboard and my ass is the headboard. I was like, who thinks of this?
Dude, you
Like,
should make that bed.
I was like, girl, I don't know what this is. Like, I showed it to all my friends. I was like, I've made it, guys. Like, I'm so famous. Someone photoshopped me into a bed. Like,
The internet is wild, man. I mean, this was like it was just so funny. We did not expect to find that. And there were so many. There were so many
I'm going to look them
pictures.
up when I leave, by the way.
Oh
Like,
my
just
God.
so you know.
I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, wow.
I'm going to be like, where are these?
Someone's really into this. I mean, at least my dick looked nice. It's a nice dick.
I love how off track we've gotten.
I
Like
know.
immediately. This is great.
I know. Oh my God. Oh boy. Okay. So you are now in the top 0.01%, right?
Yeah.
That is very hard to achieve.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people like even realize like how much money that is, but it's a lot. I won't. You can say numbers if you want, but I won't blow your cover if you're trying to keep it.
No, I'm usually really open about numbers.
That's what I noticed.
Yeah.
So
Because I think it's better for everyone to be open.
So how much does someone in the top 0.01% make?
Anywhere above like 290, 300,000 a month.
And how do you think that you've been able to like achieve that level? Because that is a level that most creators won't hit.
Honestly, I don't really know. Luck. Question mark?
I don't think so.
I don't think anybody looks like me, which is helpful.
Yeah.
I exist as a niche, which is helpful.
Mhm. What would you say your niche is?
Here I am. Like
Me. I'm the niche.
Whatever this is. Like, yeah. I don't know. It's funny too, because when I cut my hair off, I was like, boys aren't gonna like me anymore. It's gonna be so much harder to date. But I just hated the long hair. I hated it. Now here I am, and I'm like, well, what a good thing to be wrong about. Hey.
Yeah, I know, right? So what kind of content do you do?
Still like very kind of vanilla-ish. I film a lot of girl content, a lot of like strap content. I do a lot of like sexting, so like a lot of like sexting sets that are kind of fun. Like I just filmed a little sexting set where I don't know if you've seen the show Invincible, but I'm a Viltrumite. It's comic book shit, but
Okay, so do you do a lot of cosplay?
No, I don't. But like once in a while I will, but I'll just make these like fun little sexting sets of wherever I am or whatever's on my brain. Sometimes I'm just like hiking and I'm like, oh, what if I go on this tiny little trail and make a sexting set over here and something like that. So that's really fun. I do shoot some boy girl. I have like a stunt D that I shoot with and stuff.
A stunt dick?
A stunt dick, yeah. I got a stunt dick.
So just like a friend with benefits.
It's a friend with benefits. I know him from my sailing days. So we've been friends for like several years, and he's been helping me out with content for a long time.
Wow. Does he have his own OnlyFans or just shoots for you?
Just shoots for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So he gets paid like per video, and he's pretty happy with that. And he's working his way through a master's degree and stuff. So it's kind of like a good mutually beneficial scenario.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to get to the 0.01%?
After I graduated, it took me about 9-10 months.
It's not that long.
No, I really locked in on that one. I was like, I want this. Like, I want to do it. So I got a PR team, and like I just started making tons and tons and tons of Instagram reels. Like I used to post like once-ish a day on TikTok only, because that's really all I had time for when I was doing my degree, and that was enough. Like that got me plenty of money. But since I've been able to lock in and do a lot more on social media, the growth has been much quicker. Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about social media and the current crackdown, because that's fun. And so much more. So stick around, guys. We'll be right back.
Wanna get down, feel the bass hit my face. Hit my face.
All right. So I want to circle back to something I actually kind of mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, and something that is like a big deal now for creators, and it's social media crackdowns on OnlyFans promotion. It's getting more and more aggressive. Has that affected your strategy at all? And do you have any plans to adapt, or?
It hasn't really affected my strategy because I make such PG content outside of OnlyFans. Like I do a lot of like skits or talking content where I'm talking about the industry. So I don't really make a lot of like thirst traps because I'm just not very good at them. So it's been okay for me. Like I've never really had flags on my account. I've never been super worried about it. I do try to get ahead of things. So like recently, I think link in bios are a big flag right now. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just take it out, move it to the highlight like everybody else.
Oh, is that what people are doing?
Yeah, people are taking the link in bio and just putting it in a story highlight.
Oh, interesting. Because what I did was I got a second link in bio, and that first layer is all safe for work.
Okay.
And then there's a link in there that goes to my link in bio.
I think
so
that's
it's like
also
a
smart.
Double layer.
Yeah. I think you just want to be careful that it's not opening in the Instagram browser.
Right.
Yeah, because then they have access to all that data.
Yeah. You have to have what are called deep links, I think.
Yeah, deep links. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the only modification you've really made.
Yeah, it doesn't affect me too much right now. Yeah.
And how do you think it would affect you? Like, say your Instagram gets shut down, because I feel like, I mean, the thing is that the rules change constantly and they don't tell us.
Yeah.
Right? They just fucking ban you. I
They're
mean, I've
not fair.
had very little problems with my Instagram
Yeah, let's
so
do one of
far,
those. Yeah.
but every day it fucking makes me nervous.
Yeah, because you just wake up and it's gone one day.
Mhm.
You don't even know why half the time.
No, they don't tell you.
I think I could get it back probably if something happened, but I would probably I do have a backup. I mean, if you've built it once, you can build it again.
Yeah.
You can. And it's like a horrible setback and it sucks so bad, but if you built it once, you can build it again.
Let's talk about agencies. You've encountered some predatory agencies. Without naming anyone, what are the tactics you've seen them use girls to sign? And maybe for those people who don't know, like explain kind of what an agency does.
Yeah. So I've been having a lot of run-ins with these things lately since I've been doing a lot more collab houses and like working with a lot more girls. And it's been pretty astounding what these agencies are like doing to these girls and like getting away with. Every agency is different. They handle different parts of things, but they might help with your social media. They might help with managing your OnlyFans. They might help with like getting you PR, like all that kind of stuff.
Creating content,
editing content,
posting stuff, like keeping customs organized.
Sometimes they'll run these content houses. A lot of the time they'll run these content houses. So they'll invite like bigger creators who they know are making more money so that like we can come in and interact with the girls in their agency and make a bunch of content with the girls in their agencies so that hopefully their girls can get that publicity. And then also hopefully they can sign us, right? So I recently went to a content house that was like, it was like pretty good. It was pretty good. But the guys running this agency were pulling girls aside. They had like a presentation set up in a different room in the house. And it was like on a big TV and stuff. And they would pull a girl one at a time who wasn't signed with them. And they would put her in this room with them. And it would be this girl surrounded by like 5 guys. They would put this presentation up, give her the whole presentation, and then put a contract in front of her right there and make her sign it. And so one of the girls actually got to send me her contract because I was really worried about her. I was like, give this to me. I used to work for a law firm. It's like, obviously I can't give you any like legal advice, but I can tell you if it's really bad, you know?
Yeah, you can look for red flags.
And it was like, we take 50%, we own your likeness, we like blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, I was like, I can't believe you signed this. Like, get out of there. I think they had like some 30-day clause or something like that. But they usually try to get girls who aren't making very much money.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even try it with me. But I heard from like 3 or 4 other girls that this is what happened. So they try to get girls who aren't making that much money with the hope that they can kind of like churn and burn them. So they get you in, maybe you're making like 90, 100K a month, which is like really good money, but not crazy, not like the highest you can make in the OnlyFans world. So you're not necessarily a girl who has a lot of connections or a lot of power yet. And they get you in there and they get you to sign this contract. They take 50% and then they like burn your account to the ground and they lock you into like a year-long contract and they just like squeeze the girls for every penny they can get out of them. And then
sometimes what they'll do is they'll promote other girls on their page to get their other girls more numbers.
Exactly. So they'll have their like big fish clients who do make a lot of money and have a lot of power. And they are interested in making that girl more and more and more money because she's the girl who carries their reputation. So she's the girl going around saying, yeah, I have this agency. They make me so much money, blah, blah, blah. And so they'll do like shout outs for her page on a smaller model's page and try to get their whales to go to. And I actually heard them. I had like a bedroom right above what they were using as an office. And I actually heard them talking about how they could get different girls' whales to migrate to their girls' accounts and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, that is crazy.
So for those of you who don't know, a whale is a fan that spends a lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. That's what they call them. Yeah, I had a model contact me yesterday saying like, hey, so-and-so told me to contact you. I'm like, who the fuck is that? She's like, so-and-so of this like blank
Yeah.
OnlyFans agency said that like they work with you and that you'd vouch for them. I'm like, I've never heard of them. I have no idea who you're talking about.
Because I think they kind of bet that you won't reach
check
out.
references.
Or that you won't reply because you're too big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you won't give that girl the time of day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, I literally have no clue who that is. Like, don't. Yeah. It's pretty.
It's so bad. I actually got in touch with I was telling a different friend about this, and he works for like, what does he do? He does like social media management, works with streamers and stuff like that, but he works with like a lot of OnlyFans girls. And he was like, I have someone very interesting for you to talk to. And he gave me the phone number of a contract attorney. And I called her up and she was like, obviously I can't give names. Obviously I can't like cite exact things, but let me tell you about all these contracts and like what to look out for because I've litigated on several of them. I was like, oh, okay. So she talked to me for like an hour about these contracts and about the methods these agencies are using to get girls to sign. And like a lot of these contracts don't stand up. Like they use a lot of scare tactics. So like you can't force someone to like do sex work for you for like a year. You know what I mean? Like you can't lock someone into that. I've never heard of a girl who wasn't able to get out of it. You know what I mean? But girls don't know that. So they will scare you and they will put a bunch of pressure on you and they will take all of your money and they'll write in these clauses where they're like, you can leave, but you have to give us 200 grand or like whatever.
You have to buy us out.
It's like, you have to buy us out.
Yeah.
And girls don't know any better. They get girls who are new to the industry. They get girls who don't have friends, who don't have connections, and they don't know any better. And nobody talks about agencies because it's like very hush hush.
What advice would you give to somebody who might be watching this right now and is considering getting an agency? Like, what should they look out for?
I think you need to just be very careful with what you sign, particularly with AI nowadays. Make sure you are not giving anybody else the rights to your likeness because...
Which has been popping up in contracts.
It has been.
Yeah. I've seen it being snuck into like even performing like model contracts for studios.
Yeah.
For like reputable studios.
They'll own it forever and ever and ever, and you don't want that. Have at the bare minimum 2 friends read it, through like page to page with you. Because they might be able to notice something. If you can afford it, certainly have an attorney read it. Like 100% have an attorney read it. And have an attorney look into the agency. Because a lot of the time, these agencies have a whole bunch of court cases that your attorney can pull up. So I had a different agency that I went and I have this thing where I talk to everybody. I'm like, if you reach out to me and you want to talk to me, I'll talk to you. Like, it might not be in your best interest, but I'll talk to you, you know? Like, and so I went and I toured their content house and I did this whole thing and I was just kind of yapping with them. And they sent me a contract and all this stuff. And I was like, and I had my attorney look into them. They have several ongoing lawsuits with models.
Wow.
And I was like, interesting.
Wow, interesting.
And that's public. That's like public information that an attorney can get for you.
Also, I will say ChatGPT is your friend or any other AI program that you use. Take your contract, put it in there, and then ask it for red flags. It'll at least give you some kind of basic idea of what you're looking at. It's always best to get a lawyer to review if you can, but if you can't, at the minimum, do that.
Yeah. You can also ask ChatGPT, like, if a person or an entity has ever been involved in any controversy. That's a really good thing to ask ChatGPT. A girl just told me that like 2 weeks ago, and I've been doing it ever since for if I'm collabing with girls, if like if someone reaches out to me and they're like, I want to work with you, whatever. I'm like, okay, well, ChatGPT, where's the dirt? Like, what have they done?
Yeah, you know what? That's actually smart. Because I think before it wasn't very good at searching the web.
Yeah.
But I think it's changed.
It's
I actually
gotten better.
use Claude now.
Okay.
I prefer it. I've had that problem with podcast guests.
Yep.
I've had podcast guests on and I didn't know that they did this or that. And
then you're like,
and then people yell at me and I'm like, I'm sorry.
Because how are you supposed to know? Like,
I can't keep track of everything in the fucking world.
You can't vet 20 years of somebody, 10 years of somebody being in the industry, like by yourself, right?
Yeah.
You're here, you're running all the cameras, you're doing all this, you're drafting your questions. Like, it's just, it's a lot. Yeah.
Speaking of OnlyFans, there's been a lot of chatter lately about the shows Euphoria and Margot's Got Money Troubles, featuring OnlyFans as a narrative as part of the show. And there's been a lot of people who've had things to say about that. What's your opinion?
I haven't seen Margot's Got Money Troubles. It's on my like to watch list, but I've been keeping up with Euphoria. Euphoria, I think, has been very interesting. I do sort of resent that Hollywood is becoming interested in this idea of talking about OnlyFans models, but that we are so barred from any actual involvement with like the film industry for the most part. Because I know like several OnlyFans models who I think would be really good actors.
Though
and,
I
like,
will
really good
say,
things,
like
but
in for Euphoria, they do have Chloe Cherry.
they do have Chloe Cherry, but doesn't she hate OnlyFans now? She,
Man, I don't know.
because I think she posted a bunch of stuff where she was like, "You can do better," like blah 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 blah.
Why
So
you
she's a
always gotta-
turncoat. She's
Why
a
you always got to turn on us, man?
they'll
Like,
hire a turncoat. Like
come on.
ridiculous.
Ah.
But as far as Cassie's character, if you just like isolate her experience with OnlyFans, I think it's like pretty good. I think they did a good job. They do a fair job of highlighting our vices and our virtues with this character. Our virtues are that like we are incredibly hardworking. Like we are there to hustle. We're there to make money. But maybe one of the character flaws that a lot of us have, particularly when you're really, really new to the industry, and I think it's very understandable, is that there's this like anxiety around everything that makes you a little like desperate, a little clout chasey, a little like, because at any moment, everything could disappear. Every dollar you're making could disappear. And so I think that most people, when they start out in the industry, I think they're anxious and a little rattled. And I don't think that they always like make the best decisions or represent themselves the best. And I think they did a good job of portraying that while also portraying the things that are really good about her.
Well, I think it's also interesting too, because it's like, not only could like the bottom fall out and you could lose everything, but then you're still stamped with that scarlet letter, right?
Yes.
And you can't, a lot of people will have difficulty moving on to doing something else. So it's like you've thrown all your eggs into this one basket by getting into sex work. And if it doesn't work out for you, like the world doesn't allow you to move on and like do something else with your life.
And she very much is like doing what it takes. You know, like she does some shady stuff that definitely isn't like the right or nice thing to do. But you can kind of understand why she does it, because there's so much anxiety around that.
Yeah.
Like was what, you know.
I haven't watched the new season of Euphoria. I actually really loved the show, but I just like, I think I've just been busy and I've read like mixed reviews about it. So I was like, I'm not sure it's worth my time at the moment. Plus I'm watching Yellowstone right now, which is not like a great show, but it's sort of like a guilty pleasure.
Well, and you're locked in. Like I get locked in on a show and I'm like, I'll get to the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's I mean, some of the writing's like really fucking bad. Whatever. It's a Western
you're enjoying
soap
it,
opera.
I
enjoy it enough to watch it like on a regular basis. Yeah. So one other thing that people have been commenting on, and I think that this is something that we see a lot, and I'm sure like you can relate to this actually being somebody who's doing really well on OnlyFans, but this idea that like any woman can get into OnlyFans and like suddenly make like a massive amount of money, and that it plays into that idea and it's misleading for young women.
Oh, with Euphoria? Yeah, there is that component, but I think they kind of so like the plot line in Euphoria, since you haven't seen it, is Cassie really wants to get into OnlyFans. She's making like a little bit of money, and then her fiance makes her delete her account. Her best friend comes back into her life, and she's been kind of managing OnlyFans girls, and she has a whole bunch of connections in Hollywood. She's friends with a whole bunch of stars. And so she comes up with this like ploy to get Cassie into this party where there's a famous guy and get on his like Instagram feed, like get on his Instagram stories. And so they kind of come up with this nasty little scheme to basically immediately get her a ton of publicity. And from that standpoint, I think that's true, that if you get a ton of publicity, like you really like millions and millions and millions of people see your face, yeah, you might start off at a pretty strong place on OnlyFans. Yeah.
That's true. And some people do some I see people doing some crazy shit online to get those eyeballs.
Right. But like, I think you got to bear in mind that although there's that immediate gratification maybe of like making money, there's this sort of I don't know, there's this like little humiliation you never live down, depending on the press you get or
I
depending
just
on
keep
the
on thinking
the
about Hawk to a girl,
Oh yeah.
you know?
That's you now.
She would
You're
have been-
Hawk to a, you don't even know her name.
Yeah.
She's Hawk to a girl.
I don't know her name.
Right? And that's humiliating.
She would have been better off just jumping on OnlyFans instead of
Yeah.
crypto.
Oh, yeah, it's so real.
She would be doing so much better.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
she was
yeah.
like, I'm too good for OnlyFans. I'm going to get into crypto. Whoops.
Yeah. There's less money in crypto.
Dude, that is a sketchy business.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is-
That's
is-
just gambling.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
just gambling. Yeah.
Absolutely. But I mean, like, what would you say with the idea that, you know, we are like playing a false narrative to like young women joining OnlyFans? I've seen your content, obviously, but I
Yeah.
haven't seen all of it.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever talk about how?
I talk about it a little bit, but it's honestly like hard because it's not an experience I've lived.
Mhm.
Like I understand that most women, I think the average is like $200 a month or something on
Yeah, it's
OnlyFans
pretty
for
fucking
jumping on.
low.
It's really low. It's really, really low. What I tell my friends and stuff, because I've had several girlfriends come up to me and they're like, do you think I could do this? And I tell them all seriously, I'm like, I think most women could do this and make quite good money. But I think you have to be willing to make content for free on social media for a year first.
Mm.
And most girls aren't willing to do that. They want to open the OnlyFans, they want to make a couple thirst traps, and they want to get a whole bunch of money. That's not how it works. I do think almost anybody could make money on OnlyFans. Like, there's so much body diversity. There's so much, like, there's girls in wheelchairs making tons of money on OnlyFans. There's tall women, short women.
I was talking to
like-
one of the executives at OnlyFans, and he says that little people actually are some of the highest earners
Oh,
on OnlyFans.
yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I think anyone could do it, but like, I think why I was so successful is because I was making content. Like, I had an audience that had a relationship with me where I wasn't asking them for anything for a long time. And I think that that's very, very powerful.
Mm.
So I think if you're willing to build an audience and truly connect with them, yes, you can succeed on OnlyFans. If you're looking just for quick monetary gain, you will fail.
That's good advice to start off without building an audience without asking for anything, because then it feels more authentic and not that you're just trying to get people to spend money on you. Then people feel connected to you and then they like want to support you, right?
Yeah.
But that's a year without, most people don't want to wait that long. I think
No.
people like you said, they don't know how hard it is and they don't want to put in the time.
Right.
It's a lot of work.
But OnlyFans is all about a relationship. Like, it's all about people who like know you and they want to connect with you and they want to see more from you and they're invested in you. And it's like, people aren't on there necessarily just strictly for porn, or they would just go to Pornhub,
Yeah.
right? And so like, if you think you can just make porn and make a whole bunch of money, you probably aren't really understanding what the platform is.
All right, let's pivot to some fun stories.
Yeah.
You hired a male escort for a night in Australia.
I did, yeah.
Tell me about that.
I thought it would be kind of like a fun, interesting experience. It's legal there. So I was like, you know what, when in Rome, So I
Yeah.
booked a 5-star hotel and like we're going to go to dinner and all this stuff. He's a little older. I think he was like 41 or so. And he was in like really good shape. And it was cool. So he came and he met me at the hotel. I found him on Scarlet Blue, I think, which is like their Australian male escort website.
Okay.
So I just found a guy on Scarlet Blue and I thought it would be kind of fun because like I wanted a hookup, but sometimes having hookups when you are so in like the public eye can be a little sketchy.
Yeah.
So I was like, this might be kind of fun. Like, I can go have a little hookup. I can let loose.
Hire
and
a professional,
I can hire a
no strings attached.
professional,
Yeah.
no strings. So I was like, okay. So I booked him for 4 hours and he met me at the hotel. We kind of started off on a weird foot because I was messaging him a couple nights prior and he was like, where do you want to go for dinner? And I was like, well, I don't really know the area. Do you have any recommendations? And he was like, no. I was like, okay. I'll figure it out then.
Can it be included in your rate that you helped me pick out a restaurant?
Yeah, I was like, can you just like, I'll pay for dinner. It's like, obviously, but just what's good? What is good around? You live here. Like,
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, I don't really know. And I was like, oh, okay. So I made a reservation at like a steak place. He came and met me at the hotel. I was wearing like really tall Jimmy Choos, and he was like, "Let's walk to the restaurant." And I was like, "Yeah, no." Like, so I ordered an Uber. We like Ubered to the restaurant. And then we were like eating, and he just kept being like, "You're the most beautiful thing here. You're so beautiful. You're just so beautiful." I would be like, "Wow, what a nice view." And he's like, "Not as nice as my view." And I was like, okay, we get it. And I actually said something to him at some point, and I was like, "That was 5. You're done. Like, you can't say that to me anymore."
He's probably used to dealing with like older women who are really
Yeah.
have low self-esteem, right? And like,
Yes.
because I mean, like, let's be honest, it's not as hard for a man as it is for a woman to get laid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I imagine he's probably women who are nervous about it, shy, maybe insecure with their looks.
Yeah. He was really funny. He was a very good like companion, you know. So we had some conversations. Those went okay. And then he snuck away and paid for dinner, which I was surprised by because I had a bunch of cash to pay
Yeah.
for dinner. So I was like, okay.
Are you gonna add this to your bill at the end?
This is weird. So we go back up to the hotel room. He was like, "What kind of music do you like?" And I was like, "90s grunge." And he was like, "Really?" Like, "Yeah." I was like,
Put on some Nirvana, bitch.
"Yeah." And then he did. He put on like acoustic Nirvana covers and like Alice in Chains.
The unplugged,
Yeah.
the Nirvana unplugged,
Nirvana
MTV
Unplugged,
special.
like Alice in Chains covers. It was, and I was like, "Yeah, this music is great." We had like a little drink, and then we kind of started getting into things. And he kind of wasn't the like expert in bed that I'd hoped for. I was
Really?
like, "Oh, have you ever had a guy and he's like fingering you, and then he starts going like side to side inside?"
Probably.
I was like, okay, like weird.
No.
Like no, it's
No.
no,
This.
no.
It's this way.
Yeah, this way or this way,
Or
like
this way.
yeah, but not this way.
Not this way.
This way.
Oh, weird.
It was really weird. And then he was wearing a condom, and he came, and then he kept going, and I was like, "Did you come?" And he was like, yeah." And I was like, "Well, we're not trying to like make a milkshake. Like, you can take that off." And it's like, you're not supposed to keep fucking her after you come in the condom because it can like come up out of the sides and
Yeah,
stuff.
and also like, wasn't his dick getting soft?
No, he was like still hard. So I was
Oh,
confused because
interesting.
he was still hard. So I was like, "Did you just come?" And then he goes and he takes the condom off and stuff, and he comes back and he was like, "Do you want to keep going?" And I was like, "Honestly, no, that's okay. I'm so good. But like, I appreciate you." And I like gave him his money, and I started like running the bathtub because it was a 5-star hotel with like a gorgeous view and a big bathtub. So I had a pack of Haribo gummy bears and like a diet soda. And I like turn on the bathtub and I'm like, you can go, man. Like, it's good. And he was like, "Huh? You don't want me to stay longer? Like, I can give you a massage or something, like whatever."
Like, no.
And I was like, it's good. I'm gonna like take this bath. It's gonna be great. So he starts like getting all this stuff, and I go, "Don't let me haunt you." And he gets back to his apartment. He starts texting me, sending me like videos of his apartment and stuff. I'm a little bit of a California sober girl, if you get my drift. So he's like, "You could come here, we could smoke something, like blah blah blah." And I was like, and then 2 weeks later, he texts me again, and I'm like, "I said not to let me haunt you." Like,
Wow, he liked you.
I was
Ooh.
like, "Oh."
He probably doesn't get a lot of dates like you.
I think it was a really like weird experience for us both. Yeah, because I think he's like very good for what he does, which is probably companionate relationships with older women.
Yeah.
But he wasn't very good in bed, and he was like not very smooth. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was very highly rated, and he won like some awards and stuff. So like,
Awards?
yeah, I wasn't trying to get like, I wanted like a nice one. You know?
Wow. That's so disappointing.
It was a little disappointing, and it cost me like $3,000 Australian by the time everything was done and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I was like,
I hired a sex worker once.
Did you?
Yeah, in Amsterdam
Dish. Oh, in Amsterdam. Okay.
with my boyfriend.
A man or a woman?
It was a woman.
Okay.
Right after I graduated high school, we went to Amsterdam, like as our kind of like
Hell yeah.
pre-college thing. And well, the problem is that we went at the end of our trip, and I was paying for most of the trip because he didn't have that much money, and I didn't have that much money either. I mean, I was a fucking student, and I couldn't afford the really hot ones at that point. So I just
Stop. Stop. You got to.
I had to go like bargain and negotiate. And then I finally found someone who was like, okay, like they weren't, I couldn't afford like the really hot ones.
Oh no.
And she just was not interested in me at all. At all. And I'm actually very straight.
Yeah.
I'm not into women.
But a threesome's only fun if everyone
but like, you know, this is this
participates,
experimental time for me. I
Yeah.
was young, I was high. And she like ate me out for a little bit and I could tell she just wasn't into it. And then I was just like, you can just have sex. Let my boyfriend fuck you and I'll watch. I'm like, I guess. So I was like, you can just stop. And I just sat and watched. And
Was the watching like
the watching?
Because I'm kind of a cuck, so
yeah,
I would watch.
It actually, I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked watching.
I would be in the. I would be in that corner. I would be in that corner.
I liked watching, and we talked about potentially like exploring that fetish when we got home. But things are different in Europe, you know.
Yeah,
we got home to America, and it was like and it was just like that fantasy was gone.
The European mindset.
Yeah,
100%.
Since we're on the topic of male escorts and sex and all that kind of stuff, is penis size important to you?
Not really. Like, I really like a guy who's really good with his hands in his mouth because I need a lot of like direct clitoral stimulation to come. I can't really come just from like penetration.
Same.
So I'm like, yeah, it feels good. You know, if you're on the smaller side, we're just gonna do a lot more doggy. You know what I mean? Like. If they're too big, that's more of a problem because then it like actually hurts.
Yeah.
You know? But like, I don't know. I love a boyfriend dick. I love like a
good size.
I love a good
medium
boyfriend dick. Yeah.
What size is like a good?
I'll take anything from like 4.5 to 7.
Oh wow.
Like I got a big window where I'm like, all right, that's good. We can work with that.
4.5 is a boyfriend dick for you.
Well, you know, it's like on the smaller. It's definitely on the smaller end of boyfriend dick. But I'm like, we can work with it. I had a boyfriend for a little bit who was rocking a 4.5er. But bro would go downtown until I came, and then he would go to Pound Town. And I was like, you know what? Who am I to whine? Like, who am I to complain?
Man tries harder.
Yeah, they do. They be trying harder. And you know what I love? A man who tries. Guys with really big dicks, they sometimes are like, I got it all, man. Like, like, you're lucky to be here. And I'm like, no, you're lucky to be here. I once dated a guy who was really good looking and had a really big dick. And he was the most boring lay. Insufferable.
Yeah, he was the worst.
Yes.
And then he told me that he was going on a surf trip with his buddies, but he actually went on the show Temptation Island.
Are you so for real? Did you find out like when you turned on the show?
No, he finally like admitted it to me when he got back.
What?
Yeah, he was like, so I got to tell you because it's gonna like you're gonna find out anyways. I wasn't on a surf trip with my buddies. I went on the show Temptation Island. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Did you break up with him over that?
Fuck yes.
Yeah, okay. Did you watch the episodes though when they came out?
Yeah, he got eliminated like on the very first one.
No way.
Yes.
So he did all that and then he got the boot anyway.
Yeah, maybe he like came back and admitted it to me and tried to make it up to me because he got eliminated. Maybe he thought he was going to win and he was like, then I don't need
He was like,
anymore.
then I'll be with a different girl or something.
Yeah.
Like,
his name was Ryan something. I can't fucking remember his last
Ryan's.
name.
No.
Ryan. I think it was the very first. I could find out who it was. I think it was the very first episode of Temptation Island when it first came out.
I have so many things to Google when I leave here today.
Yeah, you gotta go look because yeah.
That is so funny. That is so funny.
What a dumb thing to lie about.
It's so goofy.
It's so stupid. Anyways. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
I have a separate little segment that we're going to do. Some questions from my Patreon members and a few other more insightful questions. But can you let everybody know where they can find you online in the meantime?
Sure. I am Kit the Beefcake. Same tag everywhere. Very easy to find.
Yes. Yeah. And you guys can find me, Holly Randall, on Instagram, Twitter. Of course, if you want to support this podcast, watch these live streamed, and get access to bonus content, go to patreon.com/Holly Randall Unfiltered. If you're a creator, or even if you're not, go and check out my new magazine, wetinkmag.com. It's all about the adult industry from a business perspective, creators who inspire us. It's been a really fun project that I've been working on for the last 6 months. I'm about to shoot my next print issue next week, so I'm excited about that. And of course, thank you so much to Strip Chat for sponsoring the podcast. Make sure that you guys follow them, scworld.official on YouTube and on Instagram. They're at Strip Chat on X, or of course, you could just find them online. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'll see you on the next one.